So this week was week 9 of Fundamentals of Conducting, and this week we just continued to conduct so that Dr. Abrahams could critique us and help us fix little things that we really would only learn by actually applying what we've been reading about and such. So that's what we did Monday and Wednesday. People stood up and conducted, and we spent a little extra time with people this week than we have been doing because I guess it's necessary. We're getting towards the end of the semester, and there are little things that we need to fix that weren't really quite as important in the beginning when we were just catching the basics, but now it was time to nitpick a little bit. And on Friday, Dr. Miller came in and ran the class, and this was kind of cool to get the input of an outside person as far as our conducting is concerned. And so I actually conducted 2 music again for Dr. Miller, and he worked with me for a good amount of time. So that video will be up shortly on my conducting videos portion of my blog. But when we were working with Dr. Miller, he talked a little bit about, I guess, the thought process that we go through as conductors, as opposed to the mechanism. And the very first question he asked before anybody had even conducted was, how do we actually get out of the box and conduct the music and not just beat time and actually be musical? And his answer for this was that the pattern for the music has to be completely automatic in order for you to go any further as far as musicality is concerned. So that kind of has really been my focus as I've been practicing since Friday, is to just have the pattern be second nature so that I can think about the other things like my left hand and phrasing and breathing and all that kind of fun stuff. And Drew, when he first got up to conduct, he started mouthing the words, and Dr. Miller obviously stopped him right away and told him not to mouth the words. And then Dr. Miller asked us the question, I guess pertaining to why mouthing the words is bad, and the answer to that is that when you mouth the words, you're thinking about the words and not the music or the musicality. And also, when you're thinking about the words, it affects your listening to the choir. So I thought that was actually really interesting because I never really thought about that before. So that was pretty enlightening, I guess. And then we talked, especially with me, we talked about the left hand and how to use it musically. And my biggest problem is that I leave my left hand out on my side when I don't use it. So it just kind of like eventually at random places like spazzes out. So Dr. Miller recommended that I leave my hand like, I guess, like up against my body so that it's close if I want to use it, but I don't have to be using it, so I kind of feel like it's in the picture. And then he also said that when you use the left hand, it's important that you turn it upside down, like so, because it shows support for the choir, so it reminds them to support from below, which I'd never really thought of before. So I thought that was kind of cool as well. And also, we talked about the 2 different ways to show a contrast in dynamics. And you can either do it vertically by getting taller and then getting smaller, or you can do it horizontally where you start small and then get bigger and get smaller again. So I thought that was really, really interesting because to music especially, we decided in class, as a class, that it was more of a horizontal piece, so we needed to pay more attention to the horizontal plane and not the vertical plane, and this is because sometimes I found in myself, actually, when I was using the vertical plane, I would kind of lose all sense of support because I was just so big and so far away from my body. So, yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting because we hadn't really talked about which plane to use before, or that there are even two planes. So yeah, that was conducting this week, and next week we have, I believe, a children's choir is coming, and I believe we're going to just continue to conduct in class. So that's pretty much it. That's what we've been doing.